Hi everyone, it's Krista Reads Books again. Here with my monthly book journal. Um, I designed this little cover page this month. We'll see. Those are my two cats as emojis, so I thought it would be fun. Anyways, let's get into it because this is going to be a long one. So in March, I read 12 books. I got a Kobo. It's actually sitting right here. It's a little Kobo. So I've read 5 ebooks, 5 audiobooks, and 2 physical books. And I actually got the Kobo to help me get some of my NetGalley reads in faster. And I absolutely would recommend. I love my Kobo. I've already read 3 books on it for April, and it's only the 5th. So, anyways, um, I borrowed 4 books from the library and 2 books from friends. And then I completed a couple challenge reads. So I've been doing the Goobers Who Read challenge. Um, and I did the Lemon Tart. I did Vicious, which is an author that you're giving like a second chance to. And I really struggle, as we all know, with some of the Schwab's writing for her adult books. But I really liked Vicious. I'll get more into that later. And then I read Dragons of Nova for Croissant, which is like a story told from multiple perspectives. Since I'm trying to finish the series, hopefully this month, I thought that was a good spot for that. And then the TBR Takedown, owned a long time. I read Scythe. I've had this book probably since it came out in like 2012 and never read it. And I really, really liked it. And I am currently waiting on the second book to be delivered. And then I've also been doing an alphabet challenge. And for this month, I read We Burn So Bright by TJ Klune, Vicious by V.E. Schwab, and Field Guide for the Formerly Villainous by Autumn K. England to put into those letters. So starting with the favorites, these were all 5-star reads for me for different reasons. We all know I'm a little biased towards TJ Klune. I love his writing. This is a really short novella. This book actually comes out later in April. It's not out yet, or it just came out. But I loved it. I pre-ordered this as soon as I heard about it, and then I was able to get access to it through NetGalley. Scythe, like I said, I've had this book for 10 years and 14 years, whatever. Never read it, and I really, really loved it. I was not ready for this book. I did not expect a lot of the stuff that happened in this book. So, highly recommend Scythe if you want like a cool, like YA, like dystopian kind of read. And then Vicious, surprisingly, I loved Vicious. I loved the characters. I love that it's kind of told from like the villain's point of view, quote unquote. Um, I love this book. I have the second book ready to go to read for this month, and the only reason I haven't read it yet was because I was trying to get my other TBR challenges finished in March. So the first book I read in April was We Burn So Bright by TJ Klune. This book comes out actually at the end of April. This was a NetGalley audiobook that I listened to. If you're familiar with TJ Klune's audiobooks, it's the same narrator who did Under the Whispering Door, and I believe he also did The Bones Beneath Our Skin. This is a short little like novella essentially about a black hole coming for Earth, and the two main characters, Don and Rodney, are traveling across the country to take care of some unfinished business. I did post an ARC video review of this book. Um, However, just as like a refresher, like this book will make you cry, it will rip your heart out, and you will thank him for it, as he always does. He's a great author. I love TJ Klune. He's always in my top reads. And I'm really excited because I'm going to go see him talk in June. But yes, so this book comes out April 28th. Highly, highly, highly recommend. Please add it to your TBRs. It's a great, great book. Okay, so I borrowed all of these from the library. These are The Tales from the Alpha Art Gallery series. This is like a werewolf paranormal romance series. I believe there are 6 books out, maybe like with a little novella for in between some of them. And then she's coming out with another book later this year, I think in November or September, I'm not sure. But this is the second, third, and fourth book of the series. So the first book was Love Bites, which I read in February. And then it's Love Sucks. I gave 3 stars. It's a very average paranormal romance. You get what you get with these books. Love Lies is the third book, and then I actually gave 3.5 stars to Love Binds. I will probably finish this series just because they're quick, easy reads, and I know what to expect from them. They're like just fun paranormal romance novels, so they're I don't know, it's really fun. Okay, so next I read Vicious. This book is about 2 college roommates named Victor and Eli who are researching how to become like extraordinary or what they call EOs. Um, they figure out how to do it, and things just go like really, really wrong. So it's told from like it's like a dual timeline. So you get their like college experience and then you get their like what's happening 10 years later experience. And it's really, really good. I devoured this book. I think I read it in like one sitting. It's really good. Um, and the third book for this series comes out in October, I believe. So I'm really excited to finish this series and read the second book. I actually read already in April. I read the like little novella that she wrote called Warm Up, which I will talk about in the April summary. But it's that one was really fun too to kind of get back into the characters and do like a quick little like just that one was only like 20 pages. I think it maybe took me a half hour to read. So, anyways, highly recommend this book. Hopefully the series stays good, and I'm really excited to finish this series. Okay, so apparently Sir Cameron Needs to Die. Um, 2.5 stars. I cannot tell you how disappointed I was in the ending of this book. The beginning of this book, phenomenal, phenomenal read. This was a physical book that I had just randomly picked up from like Barnes and Noble, and the beginning of this book, I was like recommending it to people. I was like, this book's great, this book's amazing, like it's so funny, the humor's on point. But after a certain point, it just goes off the rails. And I feel like personally, I felt like the author didn't know how to end it. And I could feel like they maybe were not as connected to the ending of the book as they were with the beginning, because there was like a lot of typos and then just like a lot of things that didn't flow as easily as they did in the beginning of the book. Um, beginning like if they had just dropped off the last third of the book, this book would have been a 5-star read. So you can imagine how disappointing it was at the end when I was just like, I didn't vibe with the end at all. But you know, um, yeah, that's all I really have to say about that one. Okay, Field Guide for the Formerly Villainous. I did do a full arc review already on this channel for this book. This book releases June 2nd, 2026. It's about our main protagonist, Oakland, moves into a quiet and haunted farm in order to move on and heal from their life as a cult member that was being like mind controlled and manipulated. Um, it's really, really good. It gives off like Stardew Valley vibes. If you're into that game, you'll probably really like this book. Um, but it's really sweet, really cute. It's just kind of like therapy in a book. I highlighted a lot of lines where I was like, clearly this author has like been through some therapy themselves, and you know, had a lot of good little techniques in there. So I really liked this book. 5-star read. It was a quick read, um, and it's really sweet. Like I don't know, it's just a sweet book. So the next book I read was Dragons of Nova. This is book two in the Loom saga, or The Alchemists of Loom, by Elise Kova. Um, so this book is about Savare and Ariana have ended up on Nova, which is the land of the dragons, and then they're kind of trying to navigate the dragon custom, the dragon lands, build allies without revealing too much of what's going on with Ariana, and then also kind of furthering their relationship and communicating with each other. And then Florence, the third major character in this series, is preparing for war down on like their version of Earth, I guess if you want to call it that. Loom. Loom is the location. So it's really good. It's picking up a little bit. I'm hoping the third book will be um, more involved with like the war and stuff. Um, but so far, it's not too bad. I didn't like the first book as much, but this one I thought was a lot better. And I'm hoping the third book is a lot better. And I'm also realizing I just don't like the female narrator for this series. Um, so that's not helping with the ratings. So I think if I read the physical copies, it would be a lot better. But anyways, I do like this series. I plan to read a lot more of Elise Kova coming up. I did get a few of her books during the Audible sale. My friend got a few of her books, so we're going to plan on reading them sometime soon, I'm sure. All right. The next book I read was The Story Keeper by Kelly Rimmer. This is a story about a woman who moves into her family's mansion after going through like a really difficult divorce and just kind of like discovering things while she's fixing up this house um, about her family that she or about her life that she didn't know. So it's a pretty good read. I really liked it. It does have some domestic violence inside of it, like on-screen domestic violence. I also do have a full ARC video for this one as well um, on the channel already, if you want to go watch that. But the release date for this video is July 21st, 2026. And again, thank you to NetGalley for letting me read this book early and review it for you guys. So, Absolute Wonder Woman Volume 2, my brother and I both read this in March, and we both agreed that it was not as good as book one, and we think it was because it felt a lot more disconnected. When you first enter, there's things happening that you're kind of like, what is going on? Like, I had to go back and double check the first book and be like, did we know about what this is? Like, they just kind of plop you into a storyline without really, I don't know, it just felt disjointed. Um, I will continue to read it. Hopefully, it kind of picks back up. Um, it wasn't bad. It was still pretty good. I'm not a big comic book reader, but I do really enjoy the series. I enjoy seeing like strong, powerful women characters, and Wonder Woman is obviously that. So I do recommend it still, um, but not as strongly as the first one, maybe. Okay, so one of the last books I read this month in March was Anderson and Bloom. This just happened to be like free to read with Kobo Plus. And I didn't realize it was like a second chance romance, and I'm normally not into those. I was just looking into more like sapphic romances. But surprisingly, I really liked it. I normally don't do second chance romances. I don't really like them. I don't think they're believable, but I do believe that this book approached a second chance romance in a way that I don't see a lot of times. So, one of the characters, so both of the characters are like childhood stars that grew up acting together, fell in love. One of them gets like pulled into the world of Hollywood where they get like addicted to drugs and partying, and it's just bad news bears all around. And then the other person is like, I can't deal with this anymore, and she leaves. So the the book is like starting after this character leaves, and it's 5 years later, and somehow like she reaches out to her ex, finds out her ex is writing a book about them, about her life growing up, which inevitably would be about both of them together. Um, and she drunkenly texts her ex like, I like fuck you for writing this book, and then it kind of devolves from there. They kind of, they start to reconvene and build that relationship back up. And I really appreciated that it was coming from a place of like growth and therapy. Like both of the characters had grown a lot since their previous relationship. And it wasn't just a we're getting back together because we love each other kind of book. So I did really appreciate that. I surprisingly really liked this book. And it's a quick read if you want like a good little sapphic romance um, with cozy small town vibes. Okay, so the last book I read, like I said earlier, was Scythe. This book was phenomenal. This book is about Citra and Rowan, who are just kind of like your normal teenagers in high school. Um, they live in a post immortal world where humans have figured out how to conquer death, and the only way you can die is by being killed by what's called a scythe. And there's a scythe called Scythe Faraday who takes both of them on as apprentices, which is unheard of in this like setting. So they're like training with Scythe Faraday, and then things just like go off the rails, and it becomes like crazy. It's crazy. This book is crazy, and I was not ready for it. And for a YA, it does have a lot of like more adult themes. So do be aware of that. There's obviously death, suicide, self harm, a lot of gore on screen. So just be aware of some of that stuff. Check your triggers before going in, but it is a YA, so it might be a little bit more manageable than, like, say, a dark adult novel. Um, I cannot wait for the second book to come in. I'm really excited to finish this series. I know he has a prequel coming out later this year, which I would assume would be about like Scythe Faraday and Scythe Curie. So I'm excited to read that as well. Um, the writing style is really good. It's fast paced. Yeah, I have nothing but good things to say about this book. I loved this book. Okay, to kind of wrap everything up, um, so here are things I've planned to read in April. So we have our April Goobers Who Read Challenge, which is Hot Cross Buns, which is books that deal with like tradition. So I was thinking of doing Homegoing or Children of Blood. And then Chocolate Chip Cookie, which is a nostalgic read. I'm planning to read Dragons of Autumn Twilight, which is a book that I read like in middle school with my dad. So I'm really excited. I found an audiobook version of it for free on YouTube that I'm really excited to like delve into because the voice actor sounds really phenomenal. So I'm excited about that. The book is so old that there's no way it has an actual audiobook. It was published in the 80s. Anyways, TBR Takedown, finish a series. I'm going to finish Rebels of Gold. The NetGalley Bingo, I've been working on as well. A new to you audiobook narrator. I have the book Morsel. I plan to start that today, hopefully finish it today. It's really short, it's only like 6 hours, I think, so it's not too bad. And then review the oldest book on your shelf, which is Halls of the Dead, which I'm hoping to start next week. And then in the alphabet challenge, I have Immortal Dark, which I've already started, and Obstetrics, which I've already finished and just published the review for. If you want to go over and watch that, it is a NetGalley early release. Thanks for watching, and I will see you guys next month when I do the April book review.